This is an absolute heist for the New York Jets, as there has been a lot of noise surrounding a huge trade that would help the New York Jets out in so many ways, including giving Justin Fields another massive weapon for this New York Jets team, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you're part of that 68% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, make sure to subscribe. We have a bunch of great Jets news coming at you every single day. You don't want to miss out on all the great content. But Matt, let's jump into it. There's a lot to go over. Darren Mougey made it clear that when the draft ended, the New York Jets were not done filling out this roster. There will be more subsequent moves on top of what they've already done. And what we have seen thus far is that the Jets will be active in the trade market, in free agency, looking everywhere and anywhere to better this team. And now we have seen huge reports of the New York Jets landing a very talented offensive player who is being overshadowed on the Green Bay Packers right now and would find his way as a prime receiving target for the New York Jets. And jumping into this, it was mentioned by Bleacher Report that after selecting Matthew Golden at number 23 overall, becoming the first Green Bay wideout to be selected on day one in over 2 decades, and Savion Williams in the 3rd round, the organization finds itself with a logjam it must clear before training camp kicks off. Golden and Williams are joining a receiving core already brimming with young talent, including lead pass catcher Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, who's making his way back from a Week 18 ACL tear, and consistent number 2 receiver Romeo Doubs. And because of that, with other talents such as Dontavian Wicks and veteran free agent pickup McCole Hardman also in the mix, Doubs appears to be a prime trade candidate this offseason. Rather than further reducing Doubs' already slim number of looks, he was a distant 5th in Packers targets in 2024 before allowing him to hit free agency when his rookie deal expires after the season. The team should be proactive and deal him to a team in need of receiving weapons, and the New York Jets fit the bill perfectly, especially after foregoing an opportunity to land a receiver early in the draft. So, Matt, Romeo Doubs, or Doubs if you're me at the first half of the video.
Yeah. So I know New York Jets fans are absolutely sick of trading for Packers players, Packers wide receivers, Packers quarterbacks, whatever it is. Just get the New York Packers, get them all out of here. I get that, but don't let the past, the mistakes of the past, change what could be a really good move for this team for the future. Romeo Doubs, 6'2", 205 pounds. The man's an next wide receiver, which is what this team is missing. That would free up Garrett Wilson to be able to be moved into the slot as a flanker all over the offense, wherever Tanner Engstrand decides to put him. Utilizing fully Garrett Wilson's wide range of talents, he would be able to do a whole lot more if Romeo Doubs was able to be that X wide receiver and take that press corner off of Garrett Wilson. I think this would be a really smart move for the New York Jets. We know we need a wide receiver too. Everyone keeps saying Keenan Allen's too old, Amari Cooper's too old and frankly not good enough, and they're right on both those fronts. But this is a player who is not too old. Yes, he's due some money, not top of the line money, of course, but wide receivers get paid. We just watched Gabe Davis just last offseason signed somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 or 14 million dollars, and he did absolutely nothing in Jacksonville. So that's the risk that you run when you pick up older wide receivers. That's the risk that the New York Jets have already decided to run by not selecting a cheap rookie wide receiver in the 2025 NFL draft. But you can't change the past. This is the spot where we are right now. Romeo Doubs, I think, would be pretty much a perfect fit for what the New York Jets are going to be trying to do. Well, we can throw Aaron Smith on one side of the formation and, take a safety out of the way. And then under it, you can have Romeo Doubs run some sort of crossing route, and then Garrett Wilson run a drag route right under him and get Garrett Wilson open with blockers in front of him and get Garrett Wilson. Like, if you haven't picked up on it, the plan for the passing offense has to be, how do we put Garrett Wilson in the best situation possible for him to utilize all of his talents, because we know he's got all the talent in the world. Romeo Doubs, like I said before, will be a great pickup for the Jets as long as you pay the right price. 4th round pick. Don't pay too much.
I agree. I mean, considering Doubs last season, look, he played 13 games, did deal with a few injuries here, but also it was a big part of the fact that, well, he just wasn't a top option last year for the Packers. They have a logjam at that position, and last year he had 46 receptions for 601 yards. That's 13.1 yards per reception with 4 touchdowns as well. He had a solid season, and in a bigger role, he'd be expected to be able to do more. As you mentioned, you could put Smith on the other side of things as well, and it just gives them an actual wide receiver too instead of Allen Lazard. Right now, Lazard last season played in 12 games, had 37 receptions for 530 yards, which is 14.3 yards per reception and 6 touchdowns. Now, Lazard had a good start to the season, but there was some areas where he trailed off, it felt like, and he's just not a real wide receiver, too, for this New York Jets team. I mean, look, bringing in Mason Taylor was certainly helpful because it gives you another receiving option. Bringing in Arian Smith was certainly helpful because it brings you a real wide receiver on this team. But after that, you look at this young, inexperienced group, and you see the Malachi Corleys of the world and the Xavier Gibsons, who more than anything is just a return guy. It's not like this team is deep on receiving core yet. I mean, Josh Reynolds is there. He's a good veteran to have, but is he really someone you want to be a prime factor in your offense? Probably not. So, more than anything, bringing in Doubs, just as you said, it's worth a certain price. A 4th-round pick, absolutely, I'd do it. You don't want to pay much more because, especially the Packers, they don't have a ton of leverage here. Doubs is going to have his contract expire after this season, so very possible that this could end up being a rental deal for whatever team would be to take on Doubs. And on top of that, it puts the Packers in a situation where you know Doubs is going to walk anyway. So the Jets would have the leverage here in this situation, and they'd also be able to take a big swing on a guy in Romeo Doubs who, with a bunch of targets, could really break out, which is exactly what Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn have tried to do this offseason, is bring in guys with high potential who have been overlooked thus far in their NFL careers and try to see if the personalities can all mix together, if they like the personality of it all. So, look, I think this is a very current generation New York Jets front office move. It's not some move of the last regime of bringing in guys who are established. And look, it was a good idea. It made sense at the time for Joe Douglas doing what he did. But with this Jets team right now, this move makes sense.
Chris, I'm glad that you bring up Darren Mougey because we know he just came from the Denver Broncos organization. They have Courtland Sutton there, who is, he's a decent wide receiver, but as far as wide receiver ones go, he's a bottom 10 wide receiver 1 in the NFL. Yeah. Chris, do you know off the top of your head who their wide receiver 2 is?
Weirdly enough, I was looking at their depth chart like a week ago. I'm not even kidding you, but I do forget because it's the Broncos receiving core.
I don't blame you because their wide receiver 2, it's Marvin Mims, actually. But I bet you, about 85% of the people watching this video didn't know that off the top of their heads. But this is what Darren Mougey comes from. He comes from a wide receiver room who had one established name. Then they have Marvin Mims, who they drafted in the 3rd round in 2023. They have Devon Vele, who they drafted in the 7th round last year. I mean, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, Trent Sherfield, A.T. Perry, Michael Bandy. If I told you, stop me when I name a good wide receiver, you would have never stopped me. So this isn't the first time that Darren Mougey has been a part of an organization putting together a wide receiver room of a wide receiver 1 and nothing else. So yes, the Denver Broncos 2 years ago spent a 3rd-round pick on a wide receiver, and then just this year spent a 3rd-round pick on the wide receiver Pat Bryant out of Illinois. But the New York Jets have now spent even less draft capital than that on their wide receivers. There clearly is a plan. Is it a good plan? We're going to find out. I have to imagine that the wide receiver production for the New York Jets, it's going to be on the lower end of the league this season.
I agree. And also, this is a run-heavy team, so that does add into things. But at the end of the day, this team needs more weapons. I mean, Mason Taylor is going to be exciting to watch, especially considering how much Fields likes to use his tight ends. But still, I mean, Lazard picked up, 400 penalties this season trying to block? So it's not like this is just a not very, exciting receiving core. This is Garrett Wilson. And that's it. It's Garrett Wilson, and hopefully Mason Taylor can have a really great start to his season. We literally just did a video talking about how there is a chance that the young tight end might have to take a year or two before he fully establishes himself as a great option for the Jets. I mean, the Jets definitely want to get him involved early. That's part of things here, but it would help to get a guy like Doubs in here, especially he's young enough that you could kind of see this breakout when he has to prove it this year. So it's also a prove it contract. I think this just feels like a Jets move to me.
Well, we'll see. But you were talking about how Mason Taylor, it's okay if he doesn't break out immediately because the guy who's being comped to, Travis Kelce, didn't break out immediately. Travis Kelce was injured, had knee surgery as a rookie, so we missed that season. Pretty much all of offense, played a little bit on special teams, but that's it. His first year actually playing, he put up 862 yards, which is extremely impressive for what's 862.
No,
Yeah.
was that 2015?
2014.
2014. Is that when
So-
Cam Newton won MVP? Sorry.
2015 was the year the Broncos were sick. 2014, I think, was Matt Ryan who won it that year.
Got you.
But or actually, no, he's probably after 2015. Whatever. Let's keep it with the New York Jets right now. So the wide receiver, I mean, like you said, the weapons have to improve. We don't have anything outside of Garrett Wilson. Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, you might have to end the video. The 2024 AP Most Valuable Player. It's someone who. It's Aaron Rodgers.
What?
Yeah.
That just came out?
No, that's in 2014.
Oh, I thought you said 2024. I was like, what are you talking? No, that's not true, dude.
Yeah.
Now we really got to end the video. I was like, 2024 AP Most Valuable Player was not Aaron Rodgers.
You asked me who won into.
I know. I was trying to think back. I made a steal of a fantasy trade. I traded Travis Kelce for Cam Newton the year Cam Newton won MVP, and I won my fantasy football league.
I think that was a bad trade.
Dude, it won me my fantasy league. So
Congratulations, sir.
thank you. Guys, if you want to see me and Matt trail off again, let us know in the comments down below. Or if you just want to keep hearing about New York Jets, also just like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I don't understand years.